to
And
laugh.
she tells me that I talk too much.
Sometimes.
And I taught
And he
her.
gets mad. When I tell him he talks too much,
Mm.
Sandra,
Mm.
he decides to go quiet. And he'll say, I'm not talking to you for a week, but you only last one full day.
So you cannot handle my
I can't handle your quietness. Okay. I am the quiet one. I need peace and quiet.
You cannot handle my quiet. You say it's too boring. And I'll be in my element one more time.
Preparing, get to know yourself. What do you want? People need it's important to know that not everybody wants to be married and not everybody should be married. People should have the choice of saying, I want to be married or I don't want to be married. A lot of times there's so much pressure put on people, single people, to get married. But like Elvis said earlier on, it's better to be single and wish you were married than to be married and wish you were single. Yeah. And that basically means what, if you get in a relationship, you're going to be fighting all the time, you're going to be unhappy, then, what's the point? Some people are married and they're lonely in their marriage. So it's being prepared, know what you want. While you're waiting, ask yourself, what are your expectations? What are you looking for in a relationship? What are those non-negotiables again? What is your marital vision? When you look into the future, what do you foresee? What do you see? How do you see yourself? And the person that you want to be married to, the things that you're asking of them, are they things that you can also deliver? Are they things that you can find in yourself? Okay. So don't, I would say, be educated. Yes. Continue studying, continue reading, continue empowering, continue be yourself. Know yourself, that individual space, that getting to know who you are and find a place in life and all of those things is important. Yeah.
I will add that you can never give what you don't have. And when you plant apples, you will not reap pineapples. I'm just a man of proverbs.
Apples and pineapples and proverbs.
Yeah.
Which proverb was that?
Which proverb?
When you plant apples, you will not reap pineapples. In other words, you know that you have gone through a traumatic moment in your life. Nobody can read your mind and nobody can know who you really are. But you know that this is what you carry. So you present yourself as an apple. But once you are married, then you wake up one day, then in fact you say, wow, my goodness, indeed, it's pineapple. Because it is so different. Because what you were hoping to carry the whole through, or maybe the whole thing through, it did not materialize. Know what you have been through, know where you're coming from. And it is okay to go for help and work on yourself. Because one of the things that sometimes, causes a whole lot of emotional disturbance and heartbreak, came in, relationship, sometimes comes from bringing our own childhood or traumas into our relationship. It is not one's fault that they went through it. It's unfortunate that they've been through it, but knowledge is powerful. Yes. That's why God says that my people perish for lack of knowledge, that you cannot put it on ignorance. Yeah. Because once you put it on ignorance, then my question is that what happened to the knowledge that you exists. For an example, we all have used those at our age, we've used the flip-flop phones before. But now, if you say you are giving flip-flop phones to people,
the Nokia phone.
the Nokia big phones, those old phones, who would want it? People would say, listen, we have smartphones now, because for those old phones, you cannot even put social media and all those apps because the platform were not made. So where you're coming from, look at it as if they are those old phones. And where you are at now, your next, themes that you will be building, whether you want to be married or whatever, they are smartphones. But the question is, those old phones you are bringing in the smartphone, well, can they adjust platforms to be getting all those apps? And the answer is no. So for the advice I would give is that, number one, talk to God himself. When you speak to God, God will direct you. And when you find someone that in the end things doesn't not work out, look at it that God has put a roadblock for you to make a U-turn. And you go to the next entrance, you meet fine guy, and something happens, the door closes, you make yet another U-turn. That means that God is taking you somewhere. But all of this also would be a reality check for individuals to also take inventory of themselves, and whoever that they would also cross path with, to also support them, give them a different way of thinking. Like you would have a smartphone, I will have an old phone, and I will say that, listen, Sandra, I can't use WhatsApp on my phone, and I don't have Instagram and stuff. And you said that, the platforms are not made to carry those things, in it. So you need a smartphone, and that is how we need to be engaging with people that come in our life, by adjusting and giving a different way of thinking. Because anyone that you meet, they have got a software in their mind. This is the hardware. Hardware. And the software is what is in the mind. But the question is, when was the last time they updated their software? Just like you have the phone or computer, they say update and you put later, and always you say later. How many times have people done later in their mind that up to now they are owing a whole lot of upgrades? But it is imperative that we all go through upgrades in our software, and that is what will create a new way of lens for each, for each other, that if they want to build life, don't minimize premarital counseling, because the purpose is to save your marriage before you go in. And anybody can do premarital counseling, but find therapists that can go in great details, like at Elpizo. We go details and to support people. So that is what I would encourage all those singles there, that as you single, enjoy your singleness. You want to go to Paris, visit Paris. You want to travel, because once you say I do and you are married, that you cannot just get up, take your passport and go to Paris at any time. Then you be accountable.